Hi everyone, how's everyone doing today? I wanted to come in here today to talk a little bit more about something that came up the other day while we were discussing the special education reform. So basically what it was about the special education continuum of services, the placement continuum, so to speak. So basically what that means is when your child is recommended for special education services, the first thing that needs to be determined as per the law is the least restrictive environment. So the least restrictive environment is a very core section of the law. It's a very core principle of the law. And what it means is that your child has to be educated as much as possible with general education peers. So more general education, less special education, as much as it is possible for your child. Why? Because the least restrictive environment has nothing to do with special education or general education themselves, and it has everything to do with your child. So the least restrictive environment was least restrictive. There's a general sense, but it means what is least restrictive for your child. So for the most part, departments of education, districts set out guidelines for what it means to go from least restrictive to more restrictive. But in general, the law advises we start out with the most contact with general education and we end with no contact with general education. So we start out with general education itself with some services, and we end up in maybe something like a residential or hospital setting where the child will be isolated from their peers. But that's only when the situation calls for that. And for that child, that is the least restrictive environment that we can give him or her. So just to have an idea of what this looks like, and I will also post the graphic that shows you, is generally general education with services, and then you will move to other more restrictive settings. For example, you will go into a resource room, and from there you're going to go into a collaborative team teaching class, and from there you're going to go to a self-contained class in a general education building. Then you will go into a special education school itself, like a special every class in that school is specialized. And then from there, you're going to move into more restrictive settings, like a hospital setting, a home instruction setting, a residential setting, and so on and so forth. But what determines placement in this continuum? Either general education with some services to residential is basically what needs your child has based on the IEP. So for next time, when we're talking about the special education reform, it's important for you to look at the continuum and how it goes from gen ed to residential, from general education to a very restrictive setting, and everything that's in between. There is a lot that goes from here to here, and most children fall somewhere in between. So that's what's important to realize, that there are many services from here to here, and what's least restrictive has to do with the needs of each individual child. I will see you in the next video. Bye.